Okay, so right here, it's 2020. We're going to start the class. Well, maybe not a class 100%, but it's going to be just more than a tutorial time by taking into account that we're going to add or we're going to talk about some little issues related to what we're going to do um, during this 3 hours, maybe less, well, a little bit less. And to talk about the things that you need to take into account for next week. Okay?
Okay.
Okay, teacher.
Okay.
I'm putting my thumbs up over there.
Right.
Anyway, okay. Those who have any kind of inconveniences with your audio file or audio part, right? You can write it. You can write in the chat part.
I have a problem with network.
Okay, not to worry.
Puede comprar un champú y le puede echar, puede licuar una cebolla y le echa eso al champú y se lava el cabello casi todos los días, sí, todos los días, se lo lava todos los días.
Que se lo trae todos los días.
Una profe lo hace así. No, porque no es azar.
Coloquen el micrófono en silencio. Dios mío.
Lina, toda su conversación se está escuchando.
Thank you. I don't want to listen anything related to onions and shampoo. I thought it was just a rumor on internet related to maybe listening to someone else's conversations, but it happened to me now. So, cool. Anyway, let's start. Let's get to business, right? Okay.
Internet.
Yeah.
¿Me escuchan? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Loud and clear. Okay. Before starting, what I'm going to do, I want to listen to you, maybe questions that you have related to the activities. And talking about activities,
okay.
I have yeah. So if you have questions, ask them.
Okay, so what about the exam? I guess that you and Mariana are doing the same exam. Yeah, error exam.
Yes and no. Well, why yes?
Because in hers it states that we have to separate the errors on a kind of framework, but I don't know if you will use that tool for us.
Yes, there's going to be right here something in which we're going to use that kind of grid, that kind of grid, for us to make that distinction or to categorize those mistakes, okay? So as far as I know, those who are in French are going to present that in French. Those in Spanish are going to present that in in English, sorry.
Yes.
Those in English, yeah. Sorry. My head's not here. Okay, cool. So right here I have Jorge, I have Viviana Runal, I have Ricardo Cáceres, María Leal, who's María Leal?
Camila Leal.
But it says right here, María Leal and Camila Carvajal, Angélica Leonardo Maldonado, Marcela Liscano, Viviana Hernández, Leo Durán, Lina Calderón, Fabian Palacios, and Junior Hurtado, and the rest. No. So, cool. Yeah, everybody gorgeous right here. Amazing. Okay, yeah, so one of the things that we're going to take into account right here is going to be just related to, the implementation of this exam. So those in French, those teacher assistants in French, well, in French. Those in English, in English, right? I don't
Yeah.
know if Miss Diaz told you the same information.
Yeah, she told us that, and I
Did
was
it.
thinking, and I thought that I had to made it in French, but she said that it was only for French assistants, and
Yeah,
yeah,
that
I
was
will have
the
to do English.
yeah. So that was the what the choice or the what the decision we came or yeah where we arrived or we created. We said sorry. During last week meeting.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Ugh, green tea.
Yeah,
Anyway.
but you know something funny? She was going to cancel the Monday class, but she did it, and in that class she could explain us how to make uh, the error analysis in a brief way.
Mhm,
And yeah, you and us, we didn't get the course on Thursday
mhm,
because of the quarantine. So
mhm.
yeah.
Okay, not to worry. Today we're going to deal with that information. Okay, and now Alex Rojas is has joined. Okay. Well, guys, I'm going to share my screen mhm, for us to talk about some little issues. Oh, okay, nice.
Mhm. Teacher, but the exam for those in English will be the same or will be different?
Will be a little bit the same. This is not. Will be a little bit the same, right? So not to worry. There are going to be little things that are going to change, but I'm going to show you how it is going to change. Uh, okay. So first of all, I would like you to
Do what?
Hello.
Hello, teacher. We can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you.
No.
There is a kind of interference. I don't know.
Connection aborted.
now. Can you listen
Now.
to
Yes,
me?
teacher.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Now
Yeah.
it's good.
Okay. It is because I'm using the cell phone as a what as a microphone because the microphone on my computer is so
That's
amazing.
okay.
Stop.
Okay.
And I don't think there's going to be a technician for me to get that help with this quarantine thing. So anyway,
Teacher, a few minutes ago, we received a special paper from teacher Ivan.
mhm.
What is that?
Come on, please. Things about the class. Yes, there's going to be something. You mind to mute that, please? That one that is talking about the Holy Spirit. Thank you, guys. Well, one of the things that I want to be clear to clarify right here is that we were told not to. What is this? Okay, no, this is not. This is it. Okay, bye. Where is applied linguistics group C here? Okay, so one of the things that we were told not to do is to tell you to, for example, there's going to be a strict date, and if you can't deliver the assignment that day, we need to be a little bit flexible, right? So that is why you told me last time to work with this and to okay, and to put it until Saturday, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so in front of all of you,
Guys, please.
in front of all of you, I'm going to put it for Saturday midday. Okay. Oh, what am I doing here? Midday.
Okay.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to be busy on Saturday. So that's it, okay? Here, remember, you have most of the information, but we're going to cover a lot of things today. Okay, so today, I'm here. Nope, this is not, why is it not open? Because it's already open. Genius, okay, cool. No, projecto, no, linguistics, blah, 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 nope. Okay, no, I haven't told you some things that we decided related to the teacher assistant process. But basically you're going to do is going to be just related to what? Oh yeah. So for example, correcting some written reports sent by the students to the teacher, and to what? Okay, cool. No, no, here. Okay. And for example, if you have the opportunity to join one of the virtual oral classes or the video chats, so maybe for you to have the experience there, right, related to what you're going to observe, and from those observations, we're going to gather information there. Those who haven't observed, I don't know what you're going to do. Let me think about that, because I have been thinking on some solutions. So I'm going to try to look for any kind of solution for this kind of inconvenience for those who haven't done the observation. Okay, so for this week we're going to work on error analysis, and the way we're going to classify that. Next class is going to be just the theory related to that. Well, it was supposed to be the written part, but no, we're going to do the oral part right here. Okay.
Okay.
Based on the information that Professor Marianne has sent here. Got it?
Got
Mhm.
it.
Okay. Then after that week, we're going to watch some theories related to Stephen Krashen, and one of the most important ones that is going to be just the input plus one. Then we're going to have something related to class interaction, and we're going to explain a phenomenon related to the observation. But in here, I think we're going to try to look for different videos recorded on the internet, and maybe from these guys from the practicum process in 10th semester, for the practicum committee to send us the information, the videos, and for you to analyze them, right? In the part of French, I think there are going to be some different videos about French classes that you're going to observe too, right? Okay, from the 27th of April to the 2nd of May, let's suppose we're still in the virtual class, right? We're going to do something related to the discourse analysis, right? How to use the language in a spoken way. And well, the next one is going to be from the 4th to the 9th of May, something related to the acts of speaking, the speaking part, and the pragmatics we're going to implement when talking. Okay.
Okay.
Very good. Okay, then we're going to see just the it is planned to have a kind of written exam, and then we're going to, after that, from the 18th to the 23rd of May, we're going to have methods and approaches in foreign language teaching, right? So we're going to see right here an overview in a historical way related to what people have been implementing since lot of time ago, right? So we're going to talk about the traditional pedagogy, right? Until right now, there's going to be just the actional approach. Okay, then methods in action, the application of those methods. So how to implement those methods inside the real world. But here, I think we're may going to have a change because how to implement, for example, maybe a traditional course via virtual environment, or maybe how to create a constructivist course or a cognitive or I don't know, a community language learning course in a virtual environment, right? So therefore, I needed to start looking information about something that is called like this, connectivism. Okay. Uh, so here, connectivism, right? So this one has been created. Can I erase this? Very good. Okay, and oh, I'm learning. Okay, this one has been created by two authors, if I'm not wrong, right here. And these two authors are.
Teacher, sometimes we can understand you because of the audio.
Okay.
Yes,
Thanks for
teacher. Can you speak in Spanish?
Yeah, teacher, because the screen is
the what?
working too. The screen, yeah, is live.
Okay, cool. Okay, I'm going to repeat this again. Are you listening to me?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
very good.
Yes.
Okay, very good. Okay, where am I? Okay, cool. So I was telling you that one of the things that methods in action is going to be related is going to be just the connectivism, this one here. All right?
Yes.
In that, the authors are, oops, I forgot. This one. This one. Downies. I don't know if you can see my screen.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's one. Downies.
Luigi.
Inja. Can I just text right here? So let's say it right here. So first one is Downies. But I don't like this color. Black, please. Downies. And the other one is Siemens. Right? These two, from 2003 to 2010, if I'm not wrong, they have been talking about how to teach content by using virtual environments. Okay. So I think it's going to be very, very important for us to take that into account. I think I'm going to share this information. This one, for example, that is called New Technology Supporting Informal Learning, and the other one that is called Connectivism, a learning theory from the digital age, and knowing knowledge. Because these are going to be, these studies were implemented inside my thesis, and gave me a lot of resources in order to think how to teach something on via internet. Okay. Then we're going to work on something, guys. If my connection or my voice is not being listened at a very, let me know for me to repeat.
Yeah, but I guess that it's not your fault. I mean,
Yeah.
in my case, it's my connection.
It's
Which
the net
is,
connection. We are listening
yeah,
like a
it's
Yeah,
our
it's
robot.
kind
connection,
of
not yours.
interference.
Yeah,
And
not to
yours,
worry.
You're
Not to
cool. You're
worry.
good,
Not to
but
worry.
yours is.
Yes,
so you speak
Not
and there
to
is
worry.
like a feedback, and we hear like robot voice, something like that, robot noise.
Okay. Yeah. Not to worry. I'm going to work.
Yes, it's true.
So not to worry. I can repeat the information as much as possible. Okay.
but it was clear, I guess. I guess.
Okay, cool. Then we're going to talk about some like a training skills, training. So, for example, skills and how to create a lesson plan.
Teacher, basically
Right?
that's a kind of schedule.
Yes, this is the schedule. Yes, very good. Yes, this is the schedule. Here, where's the chat? Me have a chat. Me chat here. The screen is blurry. Yes?
Can we get this information on a more?
Yes, of course. I'm going to send it. Worry not. Okay, very good. Okay, then the last exam in which you're going to create a class, right? A virtual class. So, yeah, not too good, but we need to work with this situation.
A kind of video or an online class for all the people here.
Well, we haven't decided that yet. We haven't decided that yet. We were thinking of maybe just creating the whole structure, and maybe for you to do the presentation about that, right? So you're going to support the ideas in an oral way, but well, that's just one idea. We don't know the rest, right? But still, we need to do a kind of meeting for us to deal with this kind of situation, right? So yes, I'm going to share this with you on it model as soon as I can. Okay. Wow. Okay, I'm going to read the comments right here. Blah blah blah. Poor internet connection. What is this? My internet is lazy. Well, internet is not lazy. Internet is maybe not unstable. It's just unstable, right? And please do not deal with things with onions right here. Okay, very good. Okay, cool. Okay, now back to the business. What is this? No, here.
Back to the exam.
Back to the class. Okay, so last time we were dealing with some things related to error analysis, right?
Yeah.
So I'm going to share some documents related to error analysis. More chats. Hey, no, where's the chat? Where the chat is? Damn it. How do you write that? Well, unstable.
Wait, what?
Unstable. Oops, capital letter. Sounds horrible. Yeah. Okay, so unstable. Okay, cool. So we're going to read some information about, for example, a review of error analysis theory. We have seen that error analysis theory, right? The foundations about that, right? So still, so right here, we know how to classify these errors, right? Well, to make the distinction between errors and mistakes. Once again, quickly, what is an error? What is a mistake?
Sorry, teacher, could you repeat the question?
Yes. What is the difference between error and mistake?
Maybe both of them are kind of inconvenient, but the error is when we don't know the information, we don't know that we are committing an error, and mistake is when we know when we commit error, but we are able to correct or correct it.
No, we can understand.
It sounded like a machine. Okay, well, so far so good. I could understand. And yeah, so
teacher,
right here,
I think maybe an error is basically a misunderstanding, and a mistake is something you need to work at.
let's remember this.
Sometimes.
Yeah, let's remember this. Error is when the learning is not complete. Mistake is a lapsus.
Lapsus,
Yeah.
Yeah, remember.
So
Just for
Mistakes
example,
because you can correct your own mistakes, but you can correct your errors because you know that you don't make the error.
Yes, because we don't know we are committing them.
Yeah, we don't know we are committing them.
very good. So
An
remember,
error.
Yeah, that's
error,
the error.
error, for
Mistake, you can
example.
correct your mistake.
Mistake is something maybe you forget. A
Yeah,
comma.
for example,
Very good. For the
enunciation
moment,
Okay.
with
right?
the
Understood.
definite and indefinite articles when you don't use it well, but you forgot, for example, to put an X or something like that.
Okay, understood.
Okay, very good. Right. So in this document right here, we're going to see, for example, a kind of description. Can I hide this? Yes. So, for example, factors to consider when collecting samples of learner language by Elise. Right. She's a very recognized author in this field. Right. So here you're going to read this information for you to get to know what to do. Well, here we're going to see the descriptions of the errors. This is one of the parts that I wanted to show you today. How can I do this? Yes, this one here. And the screen is black. And now, yeah, here, maybe. That's it. Okay, here. So, for example, let's see some problems, some errors, right? So, for example, we're going to work with omission, right? So we have morphological omission. We have a strange thing happened to me yesterday.
Teacher,
Yes.
can we record the conference?
I'm recording it. So sooner as
Okay.
I finish this, I'm going to upload it to the internet, okay?
Okay, teacher, it's fine.
Worry not. Okay. So once again, so here, yeah, so we have this kind of omissions. So for example, a strange thing happened to me yesterday. There's a morphological omission right here. What do you think the error is?
Happened.
Aha!
Yes, the past.
Very good.
We
Very
need
clever.
the past.
Very good. So right here,
The
I know this is
conjugation, the verb is bad.
very good.
The
I'm
verb
not going to use
is
this
in prison.
text.
But why
Yeah.
But this would be
It's
the
just
possible
the verb.
solution. So remember that this is going to be, oops, this is going to be taken into account. This is going to be taken into account because something's missing. But in this case, there are going to be some morphemes missing.
ID.
Very good.
But
Very good.
it's also what an
Yes, the
error,
word have to be
a
out of
grammar
the
error
sentence.
can be.
Very good. Yep. Basically, it's going to be like that. Okay. Now, let's say this is not morphological, but now let's focus ourselves on the syntactical omission. So, must say also the names.
Must also say the names.
We.
So we can say syntactical. Remember that it's going to be yeah, something is missing right
Maybe
here.
the subject is missing.
Well, yes, the subject is missing right here. Very good. So must we say also the names? Or must they say also the names?
Yeah.
The subject is missing right here.
The pronoun.
Very good. Well, maybe the pronoun or maybe the subject in this case, okay? Okay. Give me a second, please. Oh, shoot. Okay, I'm back. Okay, then So omission, let's remember something that is
Solo
not
prendo
there,
acá
that
y
is
no hay
missing. Now, let's say addition. So morphological thing. So here we say, the books is here.
It is neutral.
That depends. Because if you want to say the
They are
books
talking
are
about
here,
addition.
oh,
That
the book
is
is here.
The the book is here or
Books
the
are here.
Let's remember,
Yeah.
let's
I
see
think
something. Let's see something. Here, we're talking
it
about,
is
here addition, right?
so
So,
Maybe we don't need
yeah,
to
yeah, we
use the
are adding an
article.
X.
yeah.
So there is an extra S right here. Which you use it
Yeah,
right
in
here,
books.
drop. So as this is going to be just the addition part, right? So this final S is added, right? Therefore,
Yeah.
the correct part right here is going to be the book is here. Nothing to do with grammar, right? The grammar right here could be good, but maybe there's going to be a kind of addition. Okay, Viviana says, the books are here. Okay, yes, but no. So if I'm going to say, for example, the books are here is because I'm talking about the grammar part, the grammar issue. But in this part, what we're talking about is going to be just the addition, right? So we're adding an extra S, what is not required. Got it?
Got it.
Okay, very good. Now, syntax, we say the London.
The article.
Very good. We're adding an article that is not going to be required. So it's just London. Example, in Spanish, we don't also say La Pamplona. No. Right? La Colombia. No, we don't say that. So what we say, well, that happens in French, but this is not the case in English, right? And maybe not in Spanish.
Yeah, it's an interlingual error when French people are learning Spanish.
Very good. That's it. But there are going to be some exceptions. For example, we say the United Kingdom.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So, for example, we say, here, we say the United Kingdom, right? Or the United States of America, right? Or the Republic of, I don't know,
Puerto
any
Rico.
could be like that, right? For example, the Dominican Republic, right? So those are going to be the exceptions in this case. Okay. Yeah, I'm learning how to use this. Now, selection. Okay. So for example, let's say, and let's try to analyze the what? The error right here. In a morphological way, my friend is oldest than me. What's the deal right here?
In superlative is instead of comparative.
Very good. So we're talking about right here the selection part. What is this? Ah, okay. I have something here. But no. Where
Teacher,
is
we didn't
this?
saw lexicon.
You didn't see what?
Lexicon.
Give me a moment, please.
Lexicon.
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 Okay.
In addition.
Very good. So it could be like that. Drop. can I say draw? Okay, nice. Okay, so yes, as you were saying right here, there is going to be something different. That instead of saying comparative, it's going to be just superlative, right?
Okay.
So, okay, cool. Now in syntax, I want that he comes here.
I want him to come.
I want him to come here.
Very good. So now we have it over there. So this is going to be a process of inter or intralingua.
Yeah.
So this is going
Would
to be
be intralingua.
intra.
No, it's
No,
inter.
interlingua.
Very
Interlingua is
good.
something about
Interlingua.
Spanish.
Yeah, it's
Very good.
pure Spanish.
Mother
So
tongue
you're
interference.
learning. You're learning. I like it. Okay, so yes, this is going to be a problem of interlingua because in Spanish we say, yo quiero que él venga acá. So in English, we just say we want him to come
To
here.
come. Yeah.
Yeah, very good. I have very clever students here. I'm proud of you. No kidding.
Thank you, teacher.
Okay. Okay, now ordering. So for example, we say this. No, I cannot pronounce that.
Significant for
Okay,
significant.
very good.
Significant.
So right here,
Significant.
let's say something like that. So this is going to be a kind of problem related to dyslexia, right? Because we're just, or inversion, right? Because we're just confusing the position of some letters, right? So in pronunciation, right? So for example, significant. Example, when we say cerebro and not cerebro.
Okay.
Yeah.
When we say murciélago and not murciélago. When we say, for example, cocholate instead of chocolate. So that is going to be ordering.
Teacher, that would be just for oral part, yes?
Yes. Yeah. The previous ones
Yeah,
related
in
to the written part.
pronunciation.
Get
So, what is this?
Those errors are more common or mistakes are common on pronunciation. So there are going to be phonetic mistakes or phonetic errors.
Phonemic mistakes. Very good. So here, these ones, here are going to be just mostly related to the ones in what? The ones in the written part, okay? These ones that I'm selecting here, okay? So these ones related to omission, addition, and selection are going to be mostly inside what? The written part. Very good. And the other ones, this one, for example, or ordering, for example, pronunciation could be, but also it could be in the written part. Example, when I say, no, I don't have the example right here. For example, you're typing something in a fast way, and you don't realize about the misspelling thing that you have been doing, right? I don't know if I'm giving a kind of good example. I'm going to say it in Spanish. Cuando ustedes, por ejemplo, están chateando y hay una letra que ustedes sin querer la cambian de posición. Eso entraría en la parte de ordering. No sé si les ha pasado alguna vez que están escribiendo una palabra, pero por rapidez no se dan cuenta lo que escribieron y pues invierten algunas palabras.
Teacher, y si uno la agrega, por ejemplo...
Esto lo llama uno laxus. En inglés, ¿cómo se llamaría?
Lapsus.
Laxus.
Y en caso ¿de qué? De agregar una letra en plan, environment, escribirlo como en francés con una E en la mitad, environnement.
So that is going to be addition.
Addition.
Okay. Example, let's continue with something else. Ordering in a morphological part. So we have, for example, we have here, getting upping instead of getting up. Sorry, get upping instead of getting up. So right here, what we're doing is not adding the ing part into the right word, right? So this is going to be a morphological issue.
Teacher, in that word maybe should be also a syntax error or a syntax mistake because could be a problem with the structure or just morphology.
Repeat the question, please. I got lost.
In the word you are explaining getting up in for getting up
Yes.
in
Morphology.
yes, that could be also a syntax problem because it's a structure problem or just morphology.
Well, actually, this is going to be just morphology, right? Because we know that, number one, when you're going to add ing, sometimes you need to duplicate the final consonant, right? So we're adding another morpheme, and then we're going to add the ing issue. So syntax is going to be just the way in which the word is going to be placed. But the morphological part is, for example, when I say, for example, spelling, right? So that's the deal
Maybe
right there.
More related to the morpheme, right?
Very good. To the structure
Okay,
itself
teacher,
of the
I
word.
understand.
Right?
Syntax is more the order of each sentence.
Very
or
good.
each word.
Very good. And we can see it here. Right? So for example, he is a dear to me friend.
Mm-hmm.
So actually it's going to be, he is a dear friend to me.
Each word is well written, but the what? But the structure is wrong.
Yes,
Right?
that's it. Yeah. So, well, everything is correctly done. But, what is this? Look at this. Okay, no. So, for example, so we're going to do it that this goes horrible. I don't like it. Yeah, I'm just experiencing this. Don't you laugh. Le va a salir uno así cuando sean grandes. Más grandes.
Exagero mucho.
Well, anyway, cool. So right here we have, here's a dear friend to me. So that is going to be just the syntax part, right? So syntax related to the organization of words. Morphology, if something was written in a bad way. So for example, the spelling part, okay? So for example, and we have lexicon. And we have lexicon right here.
I want to know an example about morphosyntax when it's both.
Yes.
So we can look for an example of morphosyntaxes right here.
Teacher, can you repeat? I cannot hear very well.
Once again, okay. Okay, so I'm going to work with, once again, the part related to ordering, okay? So ordering. In pronunciation is, or in written part, is when you write in a very wrong way one word. So instead of saying significant, you say significant, right? Instead of saying plural, you say plural. Anyway, right? So that is going to be like that. So the organization of sounds, of phonemes inside the spoken part. In morphology, it's going to be just when you write something in the wrong way, right? So example, so we say get upping instead of getting up. So for example, yes, so for example, we say get over, that is going to be the right one.
Overing.
But we're going to put it into past, that is going to be got over, right? But instead of that, we're going to say, I'm going to write the text here. Let's say that we're going to say get overed.
Okay.
So here we're dealing with something related to morphology.
That's morphology.
Yeah. We're going to see some little things related to morphosyntax, but later on, okay? Worry not.
Okay, okay.
Okay. And in
Because
syntax
that's
is
kind
going to
of
be the order.
confusing in production.
Very good. So in syntax, it's going to be just, he is a dear to me friend. So it's going to be the wrong way.
Order.
Very good.
The order.
Yeah, the wrong way of the words in the sentences.
Very good. Okay. And in lexicon, we're going to see here, so for example, key car instead of car key, right? So lexicon is when we're going to do this kind of inversion in words, right? So for example, when we say,
Alfred.
yeah, for example, upstairs, and we say stairs up. So doesn't work in that way, okay? Okay. There's a machine sounding, buzzing, like bzzz. Okay.
Not here.
Yes.
Okay. So right here, this document, I really like it, but I wanted to read it at home, right? Because here, the explanation of errors. So this part right here caught my attention. So it says, to conclude errors, whether interlingual or intralingual, remain vital to understanding learners' strategies. Analyzing such errors, which includes identifying, describing, classifying, and explaining them, can be of much help in foreign language or the second language researchers, syllabus designers, and EFL or ESL teacher. EFL for English as a foreign language, and ESL for English as a second language, right? And also you have right here interlingual errors. So what is going to be the interlingual part? Let's see it. So right here we have two categories related to the error. So here, which is going to be just the competence errors or the performance mistakes. In the competence errors, we have transfer. So what is going to be transfer? So it is going to be just related to the way in which we get something from our foreign language, sorry, our mother tongue, right? And we put it inside our foreign language, okay?
For example, the example that we have in, I want him to come here.
Yes.
I want that he comes here. That's a transfer error from
Very
Spanish.
good. Yes, that's it. Because we're taking the structures from our language into the foreign language. And then we have interlingual errors, right? So transfer is going to be mostly related to interlingual, but the interlingual is, for example, that lack of knowledge that we have. Example, no, text. So we say here. I forgot. Here. Right? So we say,
yeah.
I go into the cinema. Something's missing, right? Because you understood that the whole thing that you're going to work is going to be like going to, right? So that is going to be the verb or the verb tense that we're going to use as a near future. And we think that this is near future, right? So that is going to be lack of knowledge about something, or we learned something in an incomplete way. Therefore, we know that it's going to be
going to.
So that is going to be like that. So it is kind of difficult to get to know if it is going to be just the transfer, because we say yo voy a, and we say I going to, instead of saying I am going to, right? But it is because all the books that you're going to see, they say going to.
Yeah.
Right? And they're going to present this, they don't present this as a present continuous tense, in which we can use present continuous as a way of future. Right? So if we explain that in that way, the whole knowledge is going to be clarified, right?
Yeah, so that can be intralingual, right? Because it was learned in a wrong way.
Very good.
Yeah,
That's it.
incomplete way.
Very good. And we have something that is going to be unique. Not pretty sure about this. Haven't read much information about this, okay? And we have the performance mistakes, right? So we have processing problems and communication strategies. What is going to be the processing problems? When you don't know how to say something, right? And you start some like using one word here and then another word here, another sentence right here, and then another sentence, and you're trying to mix all of those things, and in the end, you're not communicating something. And the communication strategy is going to be even more focused on one aspect. You are going to transmit a message, but you're rounding the ideas that much, you're not going to the point, right? So that could be the error right there. It's like adding too much information for something that could be clarified at once.
Can you repeat it, please?
I was so fast. Yeah. So yes. So the performance mistakes, right? So right here, these mistakes. Okay. Once again, competence is going to be related to errors, and performance is going to be related to mistakes, right? So competence. In the competence, we say these errors is going to be the transfer, right? Or the intralingual, or are going to be kind of unique mistakes, example related to pronunciation. The performance mistakes, right? The mistakes is when you are talking and maybe there's going to be a lapsus. For example, what happens to me constantly, that I'm talking and then I tend to forget what I'm going to say next, right? So that is called processing problems, right? So yeah, as for example, I'm kind of tired. I have that kind of lapsus, and it takes me some like a 5 seconds for me to recover what I'm going to say. So meaning that I'm going to give that kind of gap, I'm going to put that kind of gap over there, that kind of space, and people sometimes are going to be lost, right? The communication strategies is going to be just, for example, you want to share something, some information, but this information needs to be detailed. And instead of that, you're going to give a lot of definitions, a lot of ideas, and then so the information is going to be lost too. You get it?
Yeah.
Wow. Kind of tired? Okay. Let's see right here, this part. Something related to what we saw last time. Here. Yeah, what we saw last time. And this is going to be sort of like a kind of summary related to the information we're going to deal with. Example. So I have to... Nope. Very good. Circle. So Zobel, 1980, states that or summarizes the characteristics of these errors, or the errors are going to be like Interference produces errors that are not like developmental, right? Number two, learners depends on the mother tongue as a crutch at low level of the second language. That happens often in A1 and A2 level. Learners use the mother tongue to hypothesize about the second language or the foreign language. So example, let's say I know some things related to pluscuamperfecto in español, therefore it could be used maybe in English, right? As pasado, presente perfecto, right? Not really sure about that.
Juan. Sorry.
Sorry.
It's my boy.
Okay. Okay. And the other one is going to be, for example, learners are unable to separate the mother tongue from the foreign language or the second language in this case. What is that? So example, yeah. So for example, if I say some structures in Spanish, I think those structures could be possibly used in English just because English has some ideas from Latin and they can be used too in that way. And here, this is very, very and extremely important. Learners' errors are due to the L1 habits. So listen very careful in this part. If you have some mistakes in the mother tongue, don't expect those mistakes not to be done in the foreign language. Of course, they're going to be done, right? If you don't know how to make the pronunciation of ch and sh, so things are going to be difficult for us to say that into another language. So that happens right here in Spanish that, yeah, for example, we say, me voy a ver el show de las estrellas, instead of saying show. So in English, it marks a very different, a very high difference, or yeah, at a phonological way, right? So maybe Cho is going to be the name of a Chinese guy, right? And show is going to be just a way, a part or a thing in which there are going to be performers, right? Alive. Okay. And finally, we have learners employ an interlingual generalization. So yes, if it happens in Spanish, it happens in English. So that's the first step. I don't know if you're getting me. Yes? No? Okay. Let's continue with the other part right here. This one, Zobel and Liceras distinguishes intralingual. Now we had interlingual. Yes, this is inter. No, errors. So now we have intralingual as the following ones. So we have, oops, yes, 7 here. And we have, still connected. So we have, errors are similar to those made in native speakers. So you don't learn something at a very good way in your mother tongue, maybe it's going to happen in the second language, okay? Learners create similar rules to those of native speakers, right? So they try to understand what could be happening when creating these cognitive processes. Errors reflect learners' competence at a certain developmental stage. There's a chat here. Chat, no, chat, damn it, chat, no. Chat. Do mistakes also happen in writing process? Yes, they happen, but maybe when you're reviewing the whole thing, you're going to erase them and correct them, right? Maybe you're not paying attention to what you're writing, right? But these mistakes happen mostly in the oral part, right? Okay, here, errors originate from the second language. Yes, of course. Why? Why do you think errors originate from the second language? Talking about the intralingual issue.
For example, the example that you give us when we use the grammatical part of be going to, and we learning like going to.
Very good. So if you
Also
learn,
fossilized errors of teachers.
That's it. Yeah. So remember, errors, something incomplete.
Yeah, you learn an incomplete.
Very good. So for example, you don't know how to pronounce something in French. I don't know.
Omelette du fromage.
Thank you so much. So if you don't know how to pronounce that, and you say, well, for example, I don't know if you have seen this episode of The Simpsons, in which Freddie Diamond, the nephew of, Freddie Quimby, the nephew of the Mayor Quimby, he's arguing with the French waiter. Right? And they are dealing with this kind of word. I forgot. Chowda. And Freddie Quimby says like, it is chowda. And the French one, he says something different, but I forgot. Have forgotten that. So, yeah. So if you don't know how to pronounce that in a very good way, and then you're going to be kind of a kind of bonehead, right? So you need to be open to learn something different, right? So it happens in that way. So bad issues about, or bad habits about pronouncing, just because you didn't learn in a very good way, they're going to lead you to that, okay? So for example, it happened to me some years ago, that this word astonishing is pronounced like that, astonishing. And there was a friend of mine who told me, no, it's astonishing. And I said like, no. And I opened kind of phonemic processor, and it says astonishing. And I was listening to a conversation, and that conversation said astonishing. So you learned something in a bad way, so you need to correct that. Okay, here. Number 6, errors reflect general characteristics of acquired language rules. Yes, of course. If you didn't learn good, so don't expect a lot of good issues to come. And finally, learners use the strategies of simplification. Out. What happened here? Oh, anyway. So here, of simplification, generalization, and reduction of grammatical redundancy. You don't know something, you don't do it, period. That's it. So for example, we're going to use future perfect continuous but in passive voice. I'm not going to use it. And then you're going to try to use something you know instead of using that complex term. Topic, sorry. And, well, basically it's going to be what I wanted to show you about this document. I'm going to share all of these documents for you to have a bigger idea on what we're going to work, okay? This one right here, we have a linguistic analysis of error in learners' compositions, the case of Arba University students. So this one is going to be just for reading, for you to know, for example, in which way this kind of researchers, they have been implementing this some like a techniques or the way for they to take into account the error analysis, the procedures, right? So this part right here, I wanted to show you this, right? So it is going to be like this. On page 3 from the 33, it says, error analysis is usually operated on the production of data of language learners, compositions, speeches, etc. And the error analysis activity entails the following procedures based by Ellis 1985. So here, defining a corpus of language, right? So what is a corpus of language? What have you learned so far related to corpus? Or what do you know?
For example, corpus are the written productions we have done during the learning process of as a foreign language student.
Yes, what else?
For example, a video record or an audio record.
So very good. It's going to be like that. So we're going to choose these files, right? So you're going to say, for example, this video file, this audio file, this text right here. So all of those, the compilation of that, right, of those, they are going to be defined as the corpus, right? So it's going to be just the physical or the audio video material that you're going to use in order for you to analyze it, right? And that you know that you have analyzed that, and you know there are going to be some kind of mistakes or errors, okay? So here, then what we're going to do is to identify those errors in the corpus. Which ones? The ones that I told you in the previous, what?
The previous PDFs.
Very good. Classifying the errors, right? So you identify that and then you classify that. Chat. Okay, I am drinking juice fruit. Ah, very good. It's a morphosyntax error or it's only just morphological error. Okay, everybody right here. If I say I am drink juice fruit, what is that? Morphological, syntactical, or morphosyntaxical? What do you think?
Morphosyntax.
I think it's more for syntax too.
Why?
No, morphology.
There is missing the ing in drinking, so that morpheme.
Okay.
And it changed the structure too because the verb is in present and not gerund. So so also it's syntax. So it's more for syntax.
Very good. So here we have I am drinking, right? So morphology. Juice fruit, no, fruit juice, right? So we have two things right here. Number one, ing is missing, and number two, the order of subject and adjective are inversed. Okay, very good. Let's continue. So here, and then we're going to classify these errors, right? So first you identify that. How do you identify something? So you're going to highlight it. Spotlight, no, step, no, door. I forgot what is that. Well, anyway. So for example, let's say we have a mistake or we have an error. So you're going to select it, and that's it, right? So it's going to be like that. Then you're going to classify it. So you're going to say, so for example, this is syntax. This is going to be, what? Okay, so this is syntax. This is going to be just related to morphology. This is going to be just related to grammar. right? So anyway, and then you're going to explain the reason why these mistakes are, or these errors are happening, okay? Well, so in this case, how to describe the errors, right? So first of all, by taking into account Delay et al. 1982, we're going to take into account, number one, the linguistics taxonomy. So if it is going to be just related to phonology, orthographic, grammar, semantics, lexicon, or discourse, right? So which one of these could be affected by an error, right? So this is going to just be related to the taxonomy. So if it's going to be just semantics, if it's going to be just lexicon, if it is going to be just syntax, if it is going to be just pragmatics, anyway. Then you're going to talk about the surface structure of taxonomy, in which there are going to be four main ways in which this can be altered, right? So number one, addition, we saw some examples related to addition, right? But these ones are going to be also subcategorized into regularization, right? So for example, applying rules to produce the regular ones to those exceptions to the rules, right? Example, regularization. We're going to say, for example, that every plural subject is going to contain a final S. So in the end, we're going to say, I don't know, fits instead of fit, or we'll say foods, sorry. I don't know if you're getting me.
Sure.
Example, overgeneralization. Why? Because we say, as we think that pencils is going to be just with a final S, so we're going to say that foot is going to be with final S2, instead of saying that it's going to be fit. Right? Okay. Then we have double marking, a kind of addition error in which one feature is marked at two levels. And we have simple additions are those which are neither regulations or not double marking, okay? Well, let's focus ourselves right here in the regularization, right? Okay, this part right here, the second part is going to be just related to omission errors, and we have seen that, okay? So when something is missing. Question. Can we go to some questions? Yeah, you have, sorry, teachers. Some people have French conference with teacher Ivan. Okay, not to worry. So you have the conference right now with teacher Ivan. You may dismiss. I continue with those who are going to continue with me. And I'm going to upload this information on YouTube as soon as this conference ends. So for everybody to have the opportunity to keep on watching this, okay? So I don't know how many people are here. So we have until now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 people right here. Out of 22, I think we are. I think so. Well, anyway. So those who need to go to the French class, you can go. And I'm going to upload this information. But I need to know who is... You have questions. Okay. Questions about the essay and the exam. Okay, questions. Ask your questions before I continue with this.
Teacher,
Yes?
we said the essay, so you have the lecture or you have to wait.
Lina, I can't listen to you.
Teacher,
Yes.
could you please send the slides that we worked in class because I don't remember some topics that we worked, that we see, because I
That we
was
saw.
watching the, that we saw, yes, because I was watching the pages, but some topics I think that we don't work on them, so I don't know.
Okay, I'm going to upload those slides. Not to worry.
Okay,
Anybody
thank
else?
you.
Question. Okay, cool. We sent the essay before. Okay. Later I'm going to work with the corrections. Okay. So not to worry.
Teacher,
Yes.
it is necessary to put or add the bibliography to the essay?
Yes, I would like you
Or
to add the references, please. Right? If not, it's going to be taken like a plagiarism thing. So no, I don't want you to plagiarize it. What is this? What are you sending? I want to know how will be the exam. How the exam will be in English. Okay, it's going to continue. It's going to have the same structure as the one in French. I'm going to send you. I'm going to send you some some texts, right? Or even better, remember that I told you to work or to have at least 3 productions of yourselves, right? And you're going to implement that to implement all of these things related to the error analysis in there.
But for 3 of them, for the 3 of them?
No, 2.
Just 2?
Yeah, 2
Okay.
because 3 is going to be that long and we don't have that enough time, right?
Teacher, I have a question. For
Question.
example, for this, say in the part where you share us languages and linguistic modes and linguistic communication, signs, arbitrary and non-arbitrary, communicative competence, grammatical competence, campus de la lingüística, we need to explain those topics in the essay? The essay,
Yes,
sorry.
do a brief essay. Do a brief explanation about that. So we have, for example, here, arbitrary and non-arbitrary signs. We have modes of linguistic communication. We have communicative competence and grammar competence. So do a little explanation about that. What is that? Do an interaction with the text, right? I don't want you to copy and paste. Now, I want you to create your own.
With our own words, we need to explain every topic we have seen in class.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, anytime. Okay, more questions? No? Okay, I'm going to continue here. What is that? Here. Okay.
Teacher,
Yes?
so for those concepts, it is not necessary to cite, just
Well, if you want to cite them to do yeah, if you're going to cite them, do it. Sounds amazing. But if you don't want to cite it, at least you're going to write the references, right? So remember, this is going to be an argumentative essay. So try to do it as it is, as an essay. So if you need to reference something, so for example, based on this author or based on this website, so try to do it.
okay.
Paola says, teacher, the exam will be only for those who are assistants in English. Yes, the exam with me is going to be in English, and the exam with Professor Marianne is going to be in French, right? So those who are going to be, or who are teacher assistants in French with Marianne, and those who are teacher assistant in English with me. Yes, I'm going to show you the example right now. Thank you, Leo. So we're going to see examples right here related to a text production related to that, right? Because, well, first I wanted to show you the way, the theory, and then we're going to the practical part, okay? Okay, anybody else before me continue?
Teacher, which one are the notes for 15%?
The grades, notes, no, notes are this.
Yes, grades, sorry.
The essay is going to be the what? The one that we're going to take for the grades. And in from there, each, here, what is this? Right here. So for example, from each part, as we have 7 topics to be covered, there are going to be 7 grades that I'm going to take from here, right? So each one is going to have a grade.
Okay, teacher.
Got it?
Yes.
So that is why I'm telling you to write, to have like a maximum of 10 pages for you to write. So 10 pages of content maximum, right? So away from that, there's going to be the cover, the index, and then the references part, right? So got it? Okay. Okay. Well, okay. I'm going to continue here. More questions. Teacher, when I wrote in a wrong way, the name of a country, it could be a. Well, that is going to be part of the spelling, so that is going to be morphology. So if it is going to be just writing in a bad way, so for example, instead of writing states with an initial E, so for example, like here, here. No, this is not, it's here, the example. Shoot. Okay, so for example, like this, so this is going to be just spelling, right? And that spelling is going to be related to addition. So you're adding something wrong. So in the case, it's going to be just morphology. You got confused, Viviana. Tell me why. Meanwhile, Sandra, teacher, about the modes, can we only explain the 5 modes, or is it necessary to explain remediation and remix and the other topics of that page? No, just the 5 modes, okay? The 5 modes we're dealing with. Okay, here. I got confused. There are a lot of error types. Yes, of course, there are a lot of error types. That is why I'm going to send you this information for you to read it at home, and for you to try to learn the different ways in which these errors are going to be categorized. But I'm going to show you some examples. Okay. Okay. Yes. Okay, so let's continue here. Okay, okay. Misordering errors caused by incorrect placement of morpheme or group of morphemes in given utterances. We have misinformation errors refer to the use of wrong form of a morpheme or structure in an utterance. 3 types of misinformation errors are commonly found in learner's error. Number 1, regularization. We have seen that. We have archiform. So the selection of one member of a class of forms that represents the others in the class. Once again, it's going to be like a regularization. Alternative forms, free alteration of various members of a class with each other. So for example, when you're going to change the what? Maybe the verbs. And that's mainly is going to be like that. So here you're going to have some ideas on how to work on those errors. Well, this is mostly quantitative, right? So here you're going to find more information about that. It's kind of long, but it gives you a lot of ideas to work on. I'm going to switch to this one. Okay. So I wanted to work with this in class, but you're going to use it at home, right? And in which we're going to do this. So for example, number one, we're going to read the whole text right here. Number two, this two. Number two, you're going to see which are the possible mistakes here, and you're going to try to correct them, right? Once you have looked for these mistakes, you're going to try to give a kind of explanation, and you're going to categorize them, okay? And that's it. I'm going to show you, for example, another video related to error analysis, selection, and categorization. Right here, this is a kind of idea on how to use the writing correction code. Okay, there are a lot of ideas on how to correct a text, right? But this sounds good. So for example, you're going to write this kind of code. These ones. For you to say this. And let's see the examples right here. So for example, wrong word. So we have, as our plane flew on the mountains, we saw snow. So what could be, yeah, so on right here is going to be the wrong word. Anybody can tell me why? As our plane flew on the mountains, we saw snow. And it is a wrong word. So why? And what kind of error is this? How can you classify it? Anyone?
Let's see, Carl.
It could be syntax.
Wait. I don't get the idea.
Lexical.
Yeah, we need that codes in order to correct the pronunciation we are going to correct.
Well, yes and no.
Perhaps.
This is good. This is going to be just for correction, right? Well, for example, when we're going to correct a text, we can use these conventions for us to guide ourselves on what to tell the student related to his or her errors. Okay. But what I want is, this is going to be just, for example, a list of errors, right? Possible errors that we're going to have, sorry. But what I want you to do is to analyze these examples right here.
I think that is a syntax error.
Syntax?
I think it's lexical because it's not using the
Very
right
good,
preposition.
very good. So that is going to be lexicon, right? Why? Because it's going to be the wrong word.
Because it's not using the right preposition, I think so.
Very
yes,
good.
it's the wrong selection.
You have it over here, over. Right? So that's it, wrong selection, so that is going to be lexicon. Very good. Now, wrong time. So we have right here, As our plane flew over the mountain, we see snow. What is the category for this error?
That's syntax.
Syntax, because
Really?
of the conjugation of the verb.
Okay, that's going to be the
must
wrong
be
word.
past.
Could be the wrong word, but even better is going to be grammar.
Why?
Yeah. So as you haven't noticed, so we have right here grammar, right? So we see snow. I don't know. Let's check right here what is this? What is this? Here, chat. Two chats. Teacher, we have another question. Camila, teacher, I cannot hear you very well. Can you listen to me?
Yeah, I listen well.
Okay. Well, I may repeat the
But
information.
Lina is having troubles with the audio.
Okay. Okay. Not to worry. Okay. Camila, you have a question? Camila. All of us, we have a question. Yes. So ask the question.
Teacher,
Yes.
for the say the concepts that we have to write in the say are those in the mode on the mode.
Yes. Yes. That's the one.
But teacher, those topics are the same to one picture I sent to the chart.
Once again.
But those topics are the same to one picture I sent to the chat,
Okay, no, I haven't.
one chronogram you sent, one schedule you sent us.
Yeah,
or
yeah,
you
yeah.
share with us.
Yes, it's the same. It's the same, right? So right here in
Okay.
the model, what I put it was even more organized.
That was the question. That was the question. If we need
okay.
if we need to explain each one of those topics.
I sent the picture to the group.
Yes.
So, this is the group. No.
The WhatsApp group.
Okay. No, I'm not watching WhatsApp right now. Let me check. Okay, here. Okay. Yes. Actually, it's going to be like that. So we have, for example, related to phonetics, morphology, syntax, semantics, pragmatics. Okay, got it. So explain as much as possible. Right?
Okay.
Because they are going to be related to the fields of linguistics. And in this way, they are going to be related to the way in which we're going to categorize all of those errors. I forgot what I was going to show, but anyway. Okay, any other question?
No, maybe.
Maybe. Okay, yeah, you're going to have more questions after that. Okay. So for example, right here, so we have, so we have right here, we see snow. Got it, yeah. I'm going to look for, oopsie. Something that Miss Marianne, here, this one. Is this? No, this is not. Well, I remember what I wanted to show is going to be just the, yeah, this one. This is the one I was looking for. This one is here. So this one right here, we're going to take into account here. So if it is going to be grammatical, it's going to be morphosyntaxis. Morphosyntax, right?
But if there are no morphemes affecting the sentence and it's only the words, it's only syntax, right?
Yes. So as we have it right here,
But it affects the grammar too.
Yeah, so the grammar right here, so we're going to say, we're going to explain that the grammar is being affected right here. So in this case, we're going to talk about the morphological issue. So it's not going to be see, it's going to be saw, right? So these morphemes, as they are going to be changed, they're going to change the whole meaning of the structure.
So it's morphosyntax.
So that'd be morphosyntaxis.
Very good. Focused on grammar.
Yes. Okay, morphosyntax focus on grammar?
Yeah, even more focused.
Okay.
Okay. Well, this is for later. This is going to be just corrected feedback, but this is going to be for later on. We're not going to cover this, this term. And here, classifying errors in language learning class. Okay. This is another chart we can use, right? For us to write, for example, the errors, right?
Yeah.
And here, possible causes of errors. So we have line 1. So, for example, line number. So if you're going to use that, and we're going to count the lines. Example, we have line 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And if you're going to see, for example, a mistake in one of the lines, so you're going to use this the line, and then you're going to try to just identify the error. So what is going to be like? It's going to be like that. For example, con los dos fotos. And then you're going to see, for example, what could be the reformulation. So what is the reformulation? Con las dos fotos, right? And possible causes of errors. So this is going to be the classification of the error, right? So in this case, the classification is going to be what? Yeah, so for example, it's going to be number 1, morphology. And we're going to say, so for number 1, English transfer. Why? Because they think that the is going to be los. And that every word that is going to be finished with os or o is going to be masculine. So it's a los fotos instead of saying las fotos. Right? So it's going to be a transfer. Now, which one? So in this case, it's going to be morphological. And here. Well, so far so good. I think the whole information is going to be repeated. Everything that I'm going to tell you is going to be repeated right here. Okay. And
yeah,
here.
teacher.
Yes?
No, continue.
Okay. And here, there's going to be some like a kind of summary of all the information we have been talking about so far, right? And here they're going to tell you, for example, this part, some like the classification of types of error. We have seen that. So if it is going to be errors of competences, errors of competence, of performance, right? Interlingual, intralingual, and I think there are going to be some examples right here for you to check it. I Identification, description of errors. But this is, well, I need to look for the right document because, right, something's missing right here. Well, but so far so good. This information or this document is going to tell you, for example, what to take into account when analyzing when analyzing a corpus and try to classify these errors. And I think I'm going to look for the information about this. Could you create a template for us? Okay, I'm going to create it, okay? Maybe we'll to reuse what Professor Marianne has shared, but in English, of course, and we're going to work on that. Yeah, you could try to do that. And right here, this is got it. So right here, guys, this is going to be a practical idea on what to work. Right? But of course, in this web page, you're going to have the answers of this exercise, right? But I would like you to have the experience related to this, okay? And here we're going to have the transcription. I'm going to copy it here. So here, she proposes a part of corrections. For example, if it is an error, you should do conceptualization, then an analysis, and then the assessment. Yeah, so basically it's going to be like that. So we're going to analyze, we're going to conceptualize, so identify, then to analyze, categorize, and then to assess. When you're going to assess, so you're going to look for that remediation thing. Got it? And well, I think I have no more information about this. Well, I'm going to answer a question that you left.
Wait, teacher, you're going to kill us with so much information.
Well, so let's stop right here, yes. Okay? I think you practically have all the information.
Too long.
Yeah, so practically, yeah. I think you have Control H. Shoot.
Teacher, okay. Do you have the framework of Marianne? Marianne's framework?
Yes, it's in the group C, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you can watch it and you can try
que
to
mirar la oración porque es que sí.
What?
The line, that kind of.
Okay, so it's here, this one, right?
Yeah, she said it's like corpus. No, yeah. No.
So here we have.
No, but look at the group. It is as an assignment.
So this is the one related for the exam, right?
Yeah, but that one, I guess that it's the, I don't know how to say it, the grade framework, but go up and into her
this
group.
One? This one, no? Or the group?
No,
the
go to group C in linguistics.
Yeah, this is the one.
Over there. Go back,
here and
down.
And 4 more attachments.
That one.
No,
this one?
Profe, espere, arriba.
Yeah, that one.
This one.
No, that one, no.
cuatro, ahí.
This.
Lena.
Profe, donde dice 4 more attachments, ahí está el documento. There is a document.
4 more
Okay.
attachments.
4 more attachments. Profe, arriba del comment.
Este. ¿No?
Uy, más
No.
escandaloso.
Este.
Profe, arriba.
Yeah, but
No.
go up.
Dele más
With
arriba.
that
No,
one.
no, profe,
Just that
más
one.
arriba.
Yes, es ese, sí es ese.
But you can download that one.
Bueno, ese
It's the
también.
documentary.
Profe, si acá hay más documentos.
1, 2, 3,
abajito.
4. Este.
Por eso hay 4.
Yeah.
Pero acá,
There are more
acá
attachments.
donde
No,
dice
that's
fact,
Click
abajito,
on more for more attachment.
Ah, aquí for more attachment. Ya.
there.
Ajá. Ah, ok.
We have,
Ajá. Este.
corpus, X3, and
So yes, this is what I was.
good.
Okay, yeah, this is what I was explaining to you that you're going to do. For example, you're going to identify all the lines, right? So for example, if you have written 20 lines, so we have 20 lines right here, in each one with a number, right? Because you're going to analyze right here, line 1, you're going to identify the error, sorry, you're going to correct that. You're going to say what is going to be the type, the source, and the remediation. Remediation is going to be just the correction, how to correct that. So basically, it's going to be like that. Practice with this kind of grill at home.
Yeah, we have done that, but in French.
But now do it in English, right?
Okay.
Here.
Yeah, but the rubric is different in English.
It's sort of, but it's going to be kind of alike. It's the one that I'm showing you here. This one, line, phase, the possible causes, but we need to focus ourselves also in the assessment.
Which is the remediation?
Aye.
That's just homework.
another homework.
Here, this one. So we're going to take into account for the exam, right? So let's do something else. You're going to use an example and you're going to send it to me when you're ready, related to the way in which you're going to correct mistakes, right? So we can meet next week, or let's say on weekend maybe, for you to show me what you have done so far, and you're going to, I'm going to guide you on what to do, or what to implement inside the exam. Okay, because practically it's going to be the same.
Okay.
Right. So right here, as we have it here, you're going to do this presentation with a PowerPoint, right? You're going to record yourselves, right? This is a link that I created about, if I'm not wrong, related to the use and the implementation of Screencast-O-Matic and VoiceThread, right? So in here, right, you're going to find more information about that, right? On how to present your your exam in another way, right? Okay. Here. And here, this is going to be just the grill, right? This is going to be, it's going to look like the same, right? So introduction, right? Then corpus analysis. You're going to use 2 texts, right? But you're going to look for, well, my way of advice, to look for your own productions. If not, try to look for any kind of A1 or A2 productions. I'm going to ask maybe Professor Judith and maybe Professor, I think Veronica is in the second semester, for them to provide us information and written, the corpus for you to analyze it. Okay. Okay, and then the conclusions, right? And well, this is going to be just related about that. But so far, so good.
And can we analyze a video or something, or another production?
Well, but yes, you can analyze a video, but you have to transcribe it.
Okay.
Guys, I'm going to stop sharing the screen. Uh-oh. No, and medicine, share computer sound. Ouch, I forgot what is that. Here, you sure? No. No. I forgot how to stop sharing. Oops. Stop share. That's it. Okay. Very good. No more sharing. Okay, cool. So we have in the end Fabian, Ricardo, Camila, Paola, Juan Carlos, Leo, Lina, Alex, Junior, Viviana, Maria, Leal, and Jorge. Okay, guys. Okay, so we're going to end here because I think I have no more information on what they're going to do. And what I'm going to do is to share more information to you related to the classification of error analysis, maybe videos about that. And no, that's it. And also the PowerPoint slides. And that's it. Questions, more questions, suggestions for these meetings. I don't know, I'm open to you in this case. Was the explanation good?
Yes, it was.
Okay, Alex. Who's Alex?
Seriously?
I don't remember your face. No, just kidding. Okay, well, so let's remember something. So the essay, what is the due date for the essay?
Saturday.
Very good. Saturday, midday, period. Okay. You are going to work with the classification of the error analysis issue. I'm going to give you a grid. And yeah, and you're going to share that information. You're going to, sorry, I'm kind of tired. So you're going to work with the essay and also use a kind of corpus. So select one written report about anything with mistakes, and you're going to analyze that, right? If it is going to be the case of a video file, you need to transcribe it. So that's going to be double work. But if you want to do it, do it. And then you're going to work with identifying that, categorizing that, looking for the way to, and looking for the remediation plan. And that's all.
Teacher, in that activity about corpus, we need to, for which day?
Let's say Monday, and we can do a tutorial while working on that.
And it doesn't matter which paper we analyze?
Yeah, no, it doesn't matter which paper you analyze. So something different from the two that we're going to work on the exam, right?
Okay.
For you to practice, right? And I can take that as a grade 2.
Must be short or long?
No. Try something short, no more than 15 lines. 10 to 15 lines, that's okay.
Okay.
I got like 3 lines on one.
Uh,
Can I use that?
Three lines?
Make it 5.
Yeah, because it was an audio translation or something like that. Or
Okay.
or
Make it 5
the,
lines. Okay, guys. So it's going to be from 5 to 15 lines, right? So 15 lines is going to be like a kind of 150 words.
In 15 lines, we are going to find a lot of mistakes. So
Yeah.
I think it's too much.
Okay, maximum.
Yes,
guys,
because
maximum
at
10
the
lines.
exercise of French, we found around 28 mistakes and errors, and was like, I don't remember, 10 lines? Were 10 lines?
I spent like 4
Okay.
hours doing that.
Okay, 10 lines
because
maximum.
I found a previous exam in which the use of English, I mean, we got sentences wrong written there, so probably we can use that because it's just for rehearsal, right?
Ah, un gato que habla.
Read that.
Okay, guys. Yeah, so
Teacher,
let's say
but
maximum 10 lines.
Could you
Maximum
please make
10.
a rubric for analyze that corpus? For example,
Yes, of
search.
course.
Okay.
Yes, of course, I'm gonna do it. But I want you to practice with, with the web page I shared to you. Okay.
Yes, teacher.
So work with that because over there you have the video, you have the rubric, and you have the transcription.
Carla, unm.edu learner language.
Yes, the one that I was showing you, that there's a video over there. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
that one. So work with that because over there you have the answers, right? So you have over there an idea on what to work.
Okay.
Got it?
Yes.
Teacher, this activity could be a practice. Yes, it's going to be a practice.
But the corpus activity also will be a grade.
Yeah, so practice it for me to have it like a theoretical, practical activity, right? So it doesn't matter how much are you going to do. What I want you to do is to practice, to have the training part, okay?
Teacher, I think maybe for the corpus analysis that you look for just one text.
Yes.
To make your work easier.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna look for it and what I think I have something, but for third semester, if I'm not wrong. So I'm going to use that. I'm going to use, for example, even easier. Got it. I'm going to share some documents in Edmodo. You're going to choose those two, right? And you're going to choose a third one, but just 10 lines, a paragraph, right? And from there, you're going to do the practice. And from there, you're going to work with the
corpus analysis.
That's right.
Okay, teacher. Yes, I think it's better because maybe we look for a paragraph really easy, maybe. And the idea is to analyze all errors.
Yeah,
or
that's
mistakes.
it. Very good. Okay. Bueno, chicos, voy a terminar de grabar la transmisión aquí, pero no se me vayan.